In this video, I'm going to be going over the truth about shadow work and how you can use it to change your life. Yo, what is good everybody? It's your boy Noah, back again with another YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality, aka Noah's Ark. And I'm so glad that each and every one of you guys decided to come join me on today's video, because in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the truth about shadow work, and I want to get into how shadow work can actually change your life and how it is very, very much necessary for us. If you haven't heard of shadow work, it's pretty much it's a deep practice where it involves tapping in with a younger version of yourself, right? This could be your kid, this could be your child self, this could be your self a few years ago, right? But the key is, when we're looking at our past selves, is we are re-inviting some trauma or something dark that happened within our life, right? Now, the interesting thing about shadow work is that when we are able to acknowledge some of these dark and traumatic things that we have experienced and that we've gone through in our life, once we bring it to the surface, we are able to let go of it, right? And ultimately, it begins a transformation within ourselves, right? And I know that that sounds very intimidating, right? It sounds scary, right? And it's probably not something that you want to do. That's why it's called shadow work. You're tapping into the shadow aspect of yourself, right? Things that you might regret or things that you might feel very guilty about. These are things that we need to be tapping into within our life, you know? And these are things that we have to bring to the surface. You know, that is what shadow work is. It's bringing uncomfortability, bringing the uncomfortable times that we've experienced in our life to the surface. And something that you can do that is actually a very transformative practice that I have done is connect with your younger self, right? This could be your child self. Acknowledge your 6-year-old self, right? And understand that by acknowledging a version of yourself from the past, you are actually embodying that energy, right? And you are taking on, you are acknowledging, and you are observing that this is actually a person, right? This is you. You know, a lot of the times when we are growing up, there's a lot of trauma and there's a lot of dark things that we go through, and we never end up acknowledging that person that we once were. You know, we never end up truly feeling and truly being able to bring that trauma to the surface because we don't acknowledge it. You know, what we do instead is we try to push it to the side, and we try to push it away, and we try to kind of bury it deep within our life, you know, and we don't want to acknowledge it. And the more and more that we do not acknowledge it, the more and more we are showing it to the world. And just by acknowledging this person or this version of yourself that was a few years ago, just by acknowledging their presence, you are creating room and you're creating space in order for it to pass by. You know, we have to be able to bring up our past traumas in order for us to let them go, right? And to realize that you were at a different place at that time. So it wasn't your fault, right? You were doing the best that you can with the resources that you had, and you have to believe in the fact that you went through that, right? That was something that you experienced, and instead of pushing it away, we have the great power and the great capability to bring it up to the surface, which sounds scary, you know, but what you'll find is once you bring it up to the surface and you acknowledge it for what it is, then you can transform, you can let it go. And so when this happens, that is when the ultimate transformation happens. We end up growing, and we end up evolving our consciousness, and we end up evolving our spirit. And this opens up new pathways to passion, to desire, to love, right, within our life. And this can truly change our life. This can truly turn our life from being one of trauma and depression and sadness to one of positivity, abundance, and freedom. right? The amount of trauma that we hold on a day-to-day basis is very, very severe. And it's something that is affecting us in our everyday life, whether we realize it or not. Your traumas come out in every way, right? If we haven't dealt with our trauma and we haven't faced it at some level, then we're always going to project that trauma onto somebody else. This could be in a form of jealousy, this could be in a form of negativity, this could be in the form of judgmental aspects, this could be in the form of just hating on somebody, right? This can come in multiple different forms, but all of that shadow that you project onto the world is just a reflection of the trauma that you faced in your life. And so that is why shadow work is so powerful, and that is why you can use shadow work in order to change your life. And I wanted to bring up this idea because I did a shadow work practice within my own self, right? I wrote a letter to my 6-year-old self, which I will go into in a video after this one. And it helped me tremendously, you know, and I was like, wow, there's actually so much power in this, right? Because once we bring up the traumas and the bad things that we have in our life, and we are able to feel all the emotions that have come with it, that is when it ultimately passes, you know. And so it's important to feel, to allow yourself to cry, you know, allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to acknowledge the person who you once were, and understand that it wasn't your fault. You know, you were just put in a bad situation. But maybe you have to be able to understand that you can look at this bad situation in a positive light, right? By understanding that it only makes you stronger, you know. And once we're able to acknowledge these traumas and acknowledge these things, these negative things that have happened in our own life, we can truly become the alchemist of our own reality, because we are transforming what we perceived as darkness into light, and we're creating light with it. And that is the power of shadow work. And the truth about it is that we all need it in our own life. We all need shadow work, and we all need to look at our shadow, take a look at our shadow, and acknowledge that we once were a victim of said trauma. We were guilty of doing something that we regret a lot. We have to acknowledge these things that we have done within our own life in order to transform our life and transform ourselves and transform into the successful, abundant, and peaceful person that we know that we are deep down inside, right? And so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I want to give a quick shout out to each and every one of you guys who have been supporting my channel. I really have appreciated all of the support that I've been getting within these past few months. It's been amazing, guys. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you, and it makes me grateful to know that I can actually do this for a living and pursue my dreams for a living just like you can. And so once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or future videos that you want me to talk about, feel free to comment them below in the comment box, and I will be very grateful to respond or even use it as a video. So with all that being said, my friends, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at, and peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.